Yes.
That's right.
Even plain cheap dishwashers, Lowe's and Home Depot used to have them in stock. Well, they don't stock them anymore. When I went to get it, I found one over on Airport Road in Home Depot, but other than that, you'd have to order it. They now keep them in a general warehouse, and when you want them, they'll ship them
Because
to
there
you or
are
there.
so many fewer.
I guess so, yes.
As needed.
Gotta hope nothing breaks down.
I know.
$300 dishwasher.
They're not building the full.
Oh, well, at some point in our lives, we'll go, oh, if we only had that stuff to worry about.
Excuse me.
Ready? Oh, you guys are ready? Okay. Let's get the fun going. This meeting will now come to order. Welcome to the July 28, 2022 Town of Woodford Board of Adjustment meeting. The time is 6:30. My name is Susanna Carver, and I am the chair of this board. Just do a quick roll call to make sure that everybody knows introductions. So we'll start.
Michael Bennett here.
Scott Hansen here.
Patricia Huffman?
Stephanie Gosnell. So I think we have an agenda tonight that we need to adopt. Does everybody have a copy of the agenda in front of them?
Mm-hmm.
Is there a motion to adopt tonight's agenda based
So
on?
moved.
Mm-hmm. I'll second.
Second. Any opposing? You want us to keep moving that quickly, or are you good?
Uh-huh.
All in favor, you want me to do it all in favor first? All in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
Aye. Right, so it looks like the second part of the agenda is approval of the minutes from the February 24th regular meeting that Ryan presented us. Does everybody have a copy of those?
Mhm.
Does anybody want to motion those to be approved?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second. I'll
All
second.
in favor?
Aye.
Aye, aye.
Mhm.
Great. So, now we have new business. Looks like today we have one thing on our agenda, which is a public hearing for a variance. So it says, we now open the evidentiary hearing to hear a request for a variance. This board must base its decision upon competent, relevant, and substantial evidence in the record. Witnesses must swear or affirm their testimony. So anybody wishing to speak today on the petitioner, or anybody else staff-wise wishing to speak, we'll swear you in now. So if you'll stand. Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the evidence you shall give to the board and the action shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Perfect. Thank you. Has everybody had a chance to review the variance? I'm just going to read the summary. So the property is zoned R7 and is located at 9999 Elk Mountain Road, further identified by Buncombe County Parcel Identification Number 9730258606. Variance request is to modify a non-conforming structure for use as a single-family residence. It looks like the applicant and owner, Ryan Lewis and Jack Marquez. So right now, I'll ask, is there any board conflicts that anybody needs to lay out or any reason to remove themselves from this case? Do you want us to do individual, or are you just good? Okay. Okay, so let's see here. In order to act as a party in this case, an individual must have legal standing. The applicant, property owner, and local government have standing. Other individuals may have standing if they will suffer special damages. If you wish to act as a party, please provide evidence to establish that you will suffer special damages from the requested development. At this time, we'll hear the staff presentation from our planning director, Adrian Eisen.
So as Susanna mentioned, this is a request for a variance to modify an existing garage accessory structure into a single-family home. The building's not conforming because it's located wholly within the front yard setback. So they're requesting a variance from section 54-341 of the zoning ordinance, which restricts extensions, enlargements, or alterations of non-conforming structures unless required by law, or to keep the building structure or sign in sound condition. In the packet you received prior to the meeting, you have a copy of the variance application, the building plans for the proposed renovations, a GIS map of the property, and the zoning ordinance section 54-341, of which they're asking a variance from. I also want to remind you of the applicable standards that must be met for a variance to be issued that are included on your staff memo that was in the packet that you received.
Did you have a question? Oh.
So at this point, we'll ask the applicant if they'd like to present anything to the board.
My name is Thomas Wolf, and I am here, well, I'm with Lobo Builders. I'm not here on behalf of the owner. They inquired, they initially contacted me about a year and a half ago with the idea of converting the existing garage to a single-family residence. In your packet, there is a plan that we helped them design, with elevations. It's gonna be a one-bedroom, basically a one-bedroom home, single-family residence. And upon applying for a permit, it came to our attention that it was within the setbacks, and, staff recommended us to move forward with the variance application. So that's why we're here, and hopeful that y'all can see your way through to helping us with that. So thank you. And of course, if you got any questions for me, I'm happy to answer them.
Then is there anybody who needs to represent themselves or any other parties of interest?
I'm just an alternate.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions for Mr. Wolf? Understand what the variance package request is?
I have a couple questions.
Yes, sir.
Is the property currently one lot or two right now?
No, it's currently 2 lots.
Okay, so
It's
that's
currently 2
So you're not
lots.
gonna have to divide it, it already is?
No, it has already been formally subdivided.
Okay. And are your intentions, and just a question, to demolish the existing down to the foundation, or are we gonna actually rebuild what's leaving existing?
No, and I appreciate you asking that question, because I think it's a really key part of the project, is that we are not expanding the footprint at all. It's gonna be the exact footprint of what it is currently. And we're not doing any exterior demolition. I mean, the roof structure is gonna remain exactly the way it is. I believe, and I don't want to speak out of order, but I believe all of the, well, that's not, I was gonna say all of the window openings, they will change a little bit, but the roof line will remain as it currently is. So we're gonna maintain the existing roof structure, all the exterior walls, and the footprint will not be expanded at all. So I think that's a pretty important piece of the puzzle.
So the new one also have separate electric, water, and sewer services?
It will.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Was the division of the property done before or after it was inherited by current owner as explained in the?
Yeah, it was divided after they purchased it. So it was, well, that's not entirely true. Let me take a step back. My client purchased it as 2 properties, but what we did was recombine, I say we, they recombined it by just moving the lot line, and that was in an effort to reconfigure the parking for each of the properties. So it was originally 2 properties. What they did was they shifted the lot line to rearrange the parking. Yep.
So it conforms, how do you just rearrange a lot line? If it's two separate lots, you just chose to move it around a little?
To reconfigure, and I probably should let staff speak to how that's done, but it requires a survey of both properties.
Oh, okay.
And then
And you did
the
that?
surveyor proposed a new lot line, and it was accepted by the town, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so you did all that? Yes,
Yes.
no, that's all I wanted to know.
And entrance and parking will be from Elk Mountain from what I looked at today.
That's correct.
So there, it doesn't appear to be a driveway there, but I'm assuming, there's a,
There's a curb cut, there's a curb cut there, yes, sir, and there's actually, a little bit of existing gravel, but it'll be a pervious surface there for the parking.
okay.
Yeah, it'll be maintained gravel parking there.
The intent to subdivide the lot, square footage wise and parking wise, is that to develop another single family on this back?
No,
portion?
it wasn't. It was, in an effort, if you, let me grab my glasses here. Readers are kind of new in my life, so bear with me. Yeah, if you, and it's not obvious from the plat that you have in front of you, but there is some existing parking that was servicing the existing single-family house. And the line was moved in an effort to facilitate that parking being on the property for the single-family house.
For the existing single family house.
Yeah.
Anybody else have any questions for Mr. Wolf?
Thank you so much.
So hearing no additional questions or presentations of relevant facts, the board will now begin deliberation. Does the board have any more questions for any of the parties involved before we move into deliberation? Okay, we're gonna take a few minutes to talk amongst ourselves. Do you have something?
You'll have to talk publicly.
Publicly.
But you can talk about the standards that need to be met
Applied.
for, yeah.
Perfect.
So basically, this is a garage that sits close to the road, and then there's a house that's 8,000 square feet that was the garage of that house. Is that the case? Because since there's two lots,
Well, there's a house, apparently it was one lot, there was a house and there's a garage, and the garage sits
right,
close to the back street, not Elk Mountain. The
Gotcha.
garage pretty much sits on the back, whatever that street's
oh, I
called.
see, that is close to that street, okay,
And that lot is about 7,000 square feet, and the
right,
other house lot is about 8,000.
right. Oh, I'm sorry, it's the lot that's 8,000 square feet, I thought it was the house that was 8,000 square feet. Okay, gotcha. I don't have anything else to say. Do you have anything to say? I'm in favor of it. Okay.
You'll have, well, not you, but we'll have to apply
Mm,
the standards in which,
right,
So if there's no further
Adrian.
deliberation, I would just
Right.
recommend going through each standard and
Right.
discussing.
does anyone want to make a motion to go through the applicable standards?
I'll make a motion to do it.
Okay,
Second.
perfect. So you want to do that?
Oh, I have to do it? Do I have to read this too?
Yep.
Okay. When unnecessary hardships would result from carrying out the strict letter of zoning regulation, the Board of Adjustment shall vary any of the provisions of the zoning regulation upon a showing of all of the following. A, unnecessary hardship would result from the strict application of the regulation. It is not necessary to demonstrate that in the absence of the variance, no reasonable use can be made of the property. B, the hardship results from conditions that are peculiar to the property, such as location, size, or topography. Hardships resulting from personal circumstances as well as hardships resulting from conditions that are common to the neighborhood or the general public may not be the basis for granting a variance. A variance may be granted when necessary and appropriate to make a reasonable accommodation under the Federal Fair Housing Act for a person with a disability. C, the hardship did not result from actions taken by the applicant or the property owner. the act of purchasing property with knowledge that circumstances exist that may justify the granting of a variance is not a self-created hardship. D, the requested variance is consistent with the spirit, purpose, and intent of the regulation such that the public safety is secured and substantial justice is achieved. Is that it? Okay.
I actually do have one more question,
Okay.
probably a two-parter. What's the minimum lot size for to have a residence on?
In that district, which is R7, it's 7,000 square feet.
Okay. And then the secondary piece, when this was reconfigured, the lots?
Yeah.
Was the size changed?
I actually am not aware of if it was changed or if it, and by how much. So I don't have a definitive answer for you in that regard.
Okay.
But I can tell you that it was acquired by the current owner in two separate parcels.
Okay.
If I may, good evening. I'm Shannon Tuck. I'm town manager for the town of Woodfin. And just for the board's benefit, anytime we do a subdivision or a recombination, we have to verify that the resulting parcels conform. So
Right.
you can't perform a subdivision unless those parcels conform. So there'll be the minimum size or greater, there'll be the minimum width or greater.
Right.
So-
Okay.
I think my question I was going more at, was it the minimum size to begin with, the lot that the
Oh, I see.
garage was on?
That's
Or
a
did
good
it
point.
become the minimum size after redivision?
So the subdivision occurred post-construction, so, because that's a historic structure or a, pre-existing structure, so you couldn't have created that second lot unless it was conforming.
Okey-doke.
Is there a motion to approve or approve with conditions or deny this request?
I'll motion to approve.
Second it?
I can, you want me to do a roll call, Ryan, with everybody's vote, or? Everybody? So all in favor?
Aye.
So staff will draft and I will sign a final written decision to reflect the vote and reasoning for this decision. That written decision will be provided to the applicant and other parties with a right to such notice. Thank you, everyone, for attending this hearing.
On motion, we adjourn?
Second that.
That's quick. Okay.
Okay, we did better than we were.
16 minutes. Wow, that was pretty good.
Move it along, not that fast.
It was a little less formal. We just had to kind of push through that one.